Hi, it's Manic44 here, and today I will welcome you in a review of yet another budget replica, this time the CM.515 from Cyma. Let's start! Among the budget replicas, the CM.515 is one of the cheapest. This is a fully plastic M4 from Cyma. That's why you often ask me questions about it, so I thought it's a good idea to make a review of it. Today I will show you what's inside, how it disassembles, and we will shoot it a little bit. At the end I will tell you what I think about this replica myself. But let's start with unboxing.
In a plain cardboard box we will find safety manual, a sling, BBs of unknown weight, 8.4 volt 1100 mAh battery, a wall charger, plastic high cap magazine, ramrod, and the replica itself. Let's take a closer look on it. CM.515 is a replica in style of very popular AR-15 family. In the CM500 series we have several models in different variants. This model was chosen because it was the cheapest and because it has the keymat type front. The replica from outside is made of shiny plastic. From metal we have only screws, pins, trigger, external barrel and a dummy gas pipe. All the rest is made of plastic. Despite the dimensions, the replica is very light and weighs just about 1.8 kilograms and measures about 88 centimeters with the stock extended and 79 centimeters with the stock folded. The plastic from which the replica is made is rather low quality, and the walls themselves are very thin, which makes the replica in hands unfortunately feel very toyish. The people I gave the replica were surprised that it's a AAG, because of its weight and feel it resembles a toy. There were even those who pulled the reloading handle thinking it was a spring operated. The whole construction is very flexible and you don't need much force to bend the replica. It will affect the accuracy of the shots if, for example, we lean too much on the replica or press it against a cover. The replica has a plastic one-sided selector offering a standard firing modes: safe, single fire and continuous fire. The replica has textured pistol grip, but because of the plastic it's made of, it doesn't give a lot and the grip is very slippery. The replica has a double-sided sling mount located in the front of the stud guide. Unfortunately, the plastic from which it's made is very flexible and gives the impression that it will break quickly. I wouldn't trust it too much. On the body, apart from a dummy release button, we can find a standard dummy follower button. On the top of the replica there are folding iron sights made from plastic. Front iron sight is unadjustable, and the rear sight is adjustable vertically and horizontally. Due to the fact they are mounted on the rail, we can uninstall them easily. The keymat front is made like the rest of the replica from plastic, which bends easily with stronger pressure applied. As well as the 3 short rails we get in the set are also plastic, and after mounting the accessories they give the impression that they are easy to tear off. I would also watch while screwing a metal keymat accessories to the front, because I have the feeling that with the stronger tightening the front may break. Replica wiring ending with a fuse and a small Tamiya plug has hidden in the stock guide. To get to it, just pull the buttstock by pressing those 2 tabs. The replica, though its design has a quite little space in the guide, and the battery that fits entirely in a normal M4 here will stick out. Fortunately, the stock itself has a quite roomy side chambers that can easily fit even 11.1 volt LiPo. The buttstock itself has 6 degrees of adjustment and squeaks at any pressure. To get to the hop-up chamber we must pull back the reloading handle, which will open the bolt window, and hold it in this position. Turning the adjustment wheel to the right increase the hop-up, and turning it to the left will reduce it. After setting we can close the dust cover. After unscrewing the plastic flash hider we get access to a 40mm counterclockwise thread, on which we can mount accessories such as barrel extensions, flash hiders or suppressors. The flash hider in my replica was screwed very tightly, and to unscrew it I had to use some pliers. To remove the magazine we have to press the button on the right side of the body. The high cap from the set sits quite well and fits every BB. Before I show you how to disassemble the replica, let's take a closer look at the accessories that we get in the kit. 8.4 volt 1100 mAh nickel hydride metal battery has a split design so that we can mount it in the side chambers of the stock. As standard with this kind of batteries, it's susceptible to so-called memory effect and it's sensitive to low temperatures. As with any battery of this type, at the beginning it's enough, but I recommend replacing it for a 7.4 volt LiPo. The wall charger is very simple and does not inform us about the state of charging. I would recommend to buy something else, because with this type of charger it's easy to damage the battery. The sling we get in the kit looks very poorly made, and if you don't want to wreck your replica, I do not recommend using it. BBs are of unknown weight and I recommend throwing them into trash. The 55 cm ramrod on one side have a hole for cleaning wreck and on the other side a wedge for pushing out jammed BBs. Now I will show you how to disassemble the replica. First, take out the magazine. Now unscrew the screw and push out this pin. We can now slide the entire upper receiver to the front. If it gets stuck, pull back the reloading handle a bit. Let's put the lower receiver to the side. We will start with the upper. To take out the chamber and the barrel, just pull them backwards. They shall come out without any problem. On the 38 cm barrel we have a simple plastic hop-up chamber mounted. Interestingly, it does not have a spring pressing it against the gearbox. The beginning of the barrel has a groove, as prepared for the O-ring, which should stabilize the barrel. The whole front holds only on this one screw. After unscrewing it, it will slide forward. After unscrewing the flash hider and two screws at the base of the gas block, we can slide the whole thing forward. To remove the outer barrel, we have to unscrew this metal nut. When assembling the replica back, be careful not to tighten it too much, because the thread on the body is plastic. We will now remove the gearbox and start by removing the stock. Look out not to lose the dummy bolt catch button. To remove it, simply pull the lever back and slide the stock to the back. Then we need to unscrew the screw inside the stock guide. Unfortunately, due to the non-standard design of the guide, to be able to remove it, we must desolder the wires at the connection point. Now we will remove the motor and pistol grip. We will start by unscrewing these two small screws on the bottom of the grip. Now we can disconnect the motor. Be careful not to lose this washer. We pull the motor out and we have access to next two screws. After unscrewing them, the grip should come up without any problem. Now we will disassemble the magazine release. Just unscrew the screw and it should come out. Be careful, because the button can go flying out. What is left is to push this pin out and unscrew this one and push it out also. After setting the selector on Cyma, we can gently pull the gearbox out. It should come out in a slight angle. The replica has a version 2 gearbox. Let's see what elements are installed inside. The replica is driven by a regular pitch spring mounted on a plastic guide. The plastic piston has a one metal tooth and a plastic piston head. The replica is fitted with a metal zero-type cylinder. The cylinder head is plastic and has one O-ring. The plastic nozzle is 21.75 mm long and has no sealing. As you can see, the system does not hold any seal and does not pass the syringe test, which is interesting because it generates quite a lot of FPS, as we will see later. The tappet plate is made from very flexible plastic and doesn't make a good impression. The gearbox is fitted with quite large metal 8mm bushings. The gears have standard gear ratio and a motor gear has 4 anti-return teeth. Unfortunately, they are terribly shimped and the gears rub against each other and do not rotate freely. For comparison, this is how the gears move in a properly shimped gearbox. Installed in the replica, we have a standard long type motor. We've seen the internals, now it's time to chrono the replica and for some shooting tests. I chrono the replica before I disassemble it, and I use 0.20 g BBs and a 7.4 LiPo battery. The replica generates on average about 422 FPS and 1.63 joules, and the rate of fire is almost 10 BBs per second. On a 11.1 volt LiPo battery, the rate of fire increases to just over 14 BBs per second. For shooting test, I use BLD 0.28 g BBs. At 30 meters there's no major problem hitting the target the size of a human torso. At 40 meters is not bad either, but we can notice individual BBs escaping sideways. At 50 meters it's worse, more and more BBs run to the sides. 60 meters is a maximum range. Hitting at this distance will require firing even a few correct shots, because most of the BBs tend to fly to the sides. As a last resort, we can cover the opponent with a hail of BBs.
We've seen how the replica is constructed, what inside and what performance we can expect from it. But is it a good replica to buy at the beginning?
After removing it from the box, the replica gives the impression of a cheap toy. The plastic shines and bends it at any pressure, and it cracks and squeaks, and the whole replica bends as if it were made of rubber. The replica is very light, which enhances the toyish feeling, but it has a metal gearbox generating about 420 FPS and has a range up to 60 meters. But again, due to its quality, we have a quite large spread to the sides, and when in heat of the battle we lean the replica too much on the cover, it may bend and the BB will fly in a completely different direction.
I've started my adventure with Airsoft with some spring-powered replicas. After some time I bought my first plastic AEG, it was the SR16 from JG. It was plastic, it was bending, it was a mess. I paid about 100 euros for it, so I understand that not everyone has a budget to buy an expensive replica at start. I was not really happy with this replica and I sold it, and I bought my G36JG that I have to this day. In my opinion, it's not worth buying this replica for a beginner. If your budget is too low, just save a little bit for something better, because in my opinion this replica is not worth investing any money in it. I'm sure I'm gonna get now a lot of comments like, oh, I bought this replica, I have lots of fun, I only changed the hop-up rubber or something. I'm not saying you can't have fun with this replica. I'm just saying for some it will work 2 years and for some it will break after 2 games. It's just the economics of it. If you buy a better replica that will last you longer, you will have a good base to upgrade. But if you have this replica or you're thinking about buying it, don't invest any money in it. Just use it stock until it breaks and save money for something better. If you buy a real replica, then leave this as your secondary or spare or something you can borrow to your friends. Please let me know in the comments what do you think about this replica, and if you have one, how does it perform for you. And for now, thanks for watching and see you next time.